So today I'm going to show you how to make a mountain that your littles can drive their cars on. Super cute. Oliver decided to add the eyeballs. They were not part of the original plan, but it turned out really cute. It's got a nice little tunnel your kiddos can drive their cars through. Let's go ahead and get started and I'll show you what all to do. You're definitely going to want a cutting board, any kind of self-healing board. This is actually what I use to make the masks with. You can even use a kitchen cutting board. You're going to need some cardboard. This is a fairly large piece. We just have scraps of cardboard laying around, so it's a fairly large piece. You're going to need to make 2 mountains out of this, and the bigger the better. And then I have a third piece to make the ramp that goes up and over, or a second piece, I'm sorry. It'll be a third piece once they're cut out. You're going to need some paper. You're going to need a knife or a box cutter to cut with. I don't recommend using scissors because they will get stuck about halfway up. They'll also make your edges super clumpy. You're going to need something to trace with. I personally use a ruler. You don't have to. And then, like I said, we use the paper tape. The roads, they come in the larger size, or you can get them in the smaller size. But you can just as easily use a piece of black construction paper, or just paint a road on, or anything in between there, and then just draw like white lines down the middle. The kids think it's great no matter what you do. You could even just leave it a dirt road. And then the other thing you're going to need is a hot glue gun. You could use regular glue, but for durability, because he's going to be playing on it, I definitely used hot glue. And we decided to put eyeballs on ours. So if you want eyeballs, you're going to need a pack of eyeballs. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So to start off, I drew a basis of what the mountain should look like. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. So for my centerpiece, I used the road. In our sample, I did not use the road to draw the center. And you can see that my center was not big enough, because once you cut out these little openings, we just use them as flaps inside for extra support. So make sure that it's all the same size, and that way you don't have to go back and reconfigure. So I used the road to make sure it was big enough, and then I used the biggest car that he wants to use to play in it, and made that the height to make sure that it's going to be tall enough so that he can fit all of his big cars through there. So here's our template. And like I said, we're going to draw it on one side, and then we're going to flip it over and trace the other side so that they match up, so they're both on the right side. And I'm actually going to bring mine out a little farther on the sides, because I want to have a ramp that goes up and over. I'm going to go from my peak, and we're just going to bring that down to about here. And then when I put my ramp on, it'll go about that angle. So that'll be a good angle. It'll be a little bit wider. This was just a sheet of paper and I didn't have the extra room, so I figured I would add it later. But that'll be a good starting point for us, and we can just do the peak from there. We'll do the same on the other side. And we're just gonna go ahead and cut this out. Alright, so once you have them cut out, go ahead and lay them correct sides together so your peaks match up, because if you do it the other way, your peaks won't match, and then sometimes your door won't match. So just make sure they all match up, just like that. And then remember, we kept the doors, the entrance to your tunnel, because we're going to use them as supports in between. Okay, so now once you have all of that together, what we're going to do is we're just going to lay these so that like sides face up. And we're going to take your doors. It doesn't matter which way they face. Just make sure they're fitting in correctly, because they're going to be wider than they are tall if you do it this way. And then we'll take our trusty glue gun, and we're just going to glue it. Need a new stick. Oops. We're just going to glue along the edge. It doesn't have to be perfect. Mine never are. And then we'll take the other one, hold that for a second. We're going to glue the other one along the edge. Give them just a second to set, and then we're gonna glue across the top. We're just gonna glue on this side. Oliver helped me make his yesterday. Unfortunately, the video footage that we took of us making it didn't turn out properly, so I'm just remaking it today. But he did help yesterday. He helped to hold the pieces in between gluings for this part, and he helped like tracing. I had to do all the cutting, but he did help where he could. For some reason we're not lining up here. There we go. So we're just gonna hold that for a minute and let that settle. And like I said, just make sure that the nice sides are out and your tracing sides are in. Just makes it a little nicer for the overall finished product. Again, you can always cover it with construction paper or cardstock, but it's brown already, so it's a nice mountain color, and we're just gonna add a couple snowy peaks and some eyeballs, and then we're done. So the name of the game is simple and easy and fun for the kids. Alright, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take that piece of cardboard that we have, the extra piece. Mine's a little rough looking on one side, and it's got some glue on the other side, so it really doesn't matter which side I'm using. I'm gonna cover it with that road tape anyway. So I'm just gonna pick a side. We're just gonna measure it with the road tape, and then we'll draw some straight lines. Mine's obviously not cut straight, so I'm just gonna cut straight down the middle. Go ahead and draw some lines here. I make mine just a little bit bigger than the roll, and that way I have a little bit of space on either side, because once you go up and over the ramp, it tends to warp the way that the tape is going up and over. So we're just gonna give it a little bit of space. This road tape is about 4 1/4. Just in case you were wondering. So we're just gonna go ahead and make a line. Let's cut this. Alright, so once you have it cut down to size, what I do is I laid it on top of my mountain, and I said, okay, here's where, let's find about middle, and then we're going to mark, here's where our tunnel is. Go a little bit wider because of the supports. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take whichever side you deem to be the uglier side, is going to be your bottom. So you want to make those marks on the top side. So I did it on the wrong side. I'm just going to transfer them over to the other side. Okay, so from the top side, we're going to cut straight across, but you don't want to cut the whole way through. You only want to do the top layer, because then we're going to bend it and break the rest. Alright, so I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's just a real thin cut, like I didn't go very far. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bend it right at that cut, and it'll just make its own little bend, but then it's not separated, so it's still one solid piece. Okay, so then when we go to put it in here, it's just going to slide right on down in there. See? Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and glue at the bottom. Alright, so I've glued my edges right down here at the bottom, just a little bit. Since we already glued the braces inside, it was easier for me to just peel a little bit back and glue right here at the bottom. Honestly, it's a snug fit up top here, so I'm not too worried about it moving around, and with the bottom braced, it should be just fine. So this is what our mountain looks like. We're gonna go ahead and put the road on. Again, you can just do cardstock, construction paper. If it's easier to do smaller sections, just do smaller sections. Put a little road line on it. The kids are gonna love it no matter how you do it. I just happen to have this road tape laying around, and it is seriously one of the best things ever, because I can just peel a piece and put it on the tablecloth, and he can play for hours, and then when I'm ready to use the table for something else, I just peel it up. It works perfectly. He has how many mats, and he won't use any of them, but this road tape can go anywhere. when he was younger and we would go out to restaurants, I could put a little piece on the table. When I'm done, it just peels up and comes with us. So, but it keeps him entertained, it keeps him busy, and then I don't have to worry about him running around or making a mess or any of that. So I'm gonna pull a decent sized piece out here. I'm just gonna lay it right here on top, try to center it, if I can see, and then just roll it down the sides. Perfect. It might get a little bubble. With this paper tape, it's pretty easy. You just peel it up and reposition it a little bit, make it as flat as possible. Again, guys, this is not made to be a perfect craft. The kids are just going to appreciate that you made them something, and they're going to love making something with you. So it's all about making memories and sharing moments. That's what we're about here. It's not about how perfect the craft is. Okay, I'm just going to fold my extra over. That way mine can be mobile. If you're putting it in one spot, feel free to leave the extra out and just make it part of the road. So as you can see, we've closed off the tunnel. We've got our road on the top. Looks good. I've got a couple little wrinkles, but he's gonna have fun playing with it regardless. So our last step is to decorate. Now is when the kids really get involved. I had Oliver on our sample piece yesterday. I had him lay the peaks down, trace it with a pen, and then he drew the snow on, and then he started cutting them out. Unfortunately, I only had the big scissors, so I had to finish cutting them out, but it's a good way to get scissor skills, tracing skills, any of that, and they can have fun and make the snow whatever size they want. So I just did it for today. I took a regular piece of paper, I just drew my peaks on. I actually used my paper stencil. I drew my peaks on, I just drew some snow guidelines, and then I folded the paper in half, and that way I can make 2 of each when I cut them out, and I have enough for both sides of my mountain. So let's go ahead and cut that out. Alright, and there you have it. So super easy to do, super fun. He can drive all his cars and trucks on it. They just go up and over. And then even the biggest one that he wanted to use can go straight through with no problems. It's just a fun little project. So, you know, make sure you're enjoying the time you have with your kiddos, and they're gonna grow up fast, guys. So just have fun with them, get goofy, make memories. Go ahead and share it if you make the project. We'd love to see it. Give us a like. You can find us on Instagram or Facebook. We're always updating things and posting new things. I'm getting better about posting on Instagram and Facebook. Unfortunately, we get a little busy here sometimes, and I don't keep up with social media all the time. But I am getting better about that, and we're just gonna have a lot of fun, right? Oliver just walked in the room. You wanna come see it? Show us what it does. You can drive up and over the ramp. Look how
and you can stop up there and no one can see you.
Sightsee a little bit.
And also, you can put Lofty down here.
And Lofty can fit underneath?
Yeah, but you do this with a hookup. You can't go in.
Oh yeah, you gotta put his hook down. Let's see him go through.
I can't go all the way through.
Perfect! Hi, Lofty.
Sorry.
Can Lofty go up and over? Can he drive up and over? What'd you do?